Updated January 18, 2018, 15 hours 41 minutes and 41 seconds. Straight male baby boomers are less likely than younger men to use condoms and know much about sexual health, leaving them vulnerable to infections, according to new research. Key points. Family Planning NSW surveyed 2,339 heterosexual men using online dating in 2014. Survey found men aged 50 or older were less likely to use condoms. Half of men over 60 did and no chlamydia often does not cause any symptoms. Family Planning New South Wales surveyed 2,339 heterosexual men who were using an online dating service in 2014. The survey found men aged 50 or older were less likely to use condoms and more likely than younger men to think that condoms reduce sexual interest. It would actually put them off having sex. Medical Director of Family Planning NSW, Deborah Bateson, said, or they'd feel worried about having sex with a condom. So I think it's really important we actually address that perception. Older men that may not have used condoms for decades, they may remember grappling with condoms in the youth and not know there's been a change in technology, so I think it's about changing that old perception of sex in a raincoat. Safe sex campaigns needed for baby boomers. The survey found 49% of men over 60 did not know that Australia's most prevalent sexually transmitted infection, STI, chlamydia, often does not cause any symptoms. It is a worry. We want everyone to know that most STIs don't have symptoms, because obviously what can happen otherwise is that you can have an STI and not know you've got it and pass it on to somebody else, Dr. Bateson said. The study cited data from the Australian Institute of Family Studies showing the number of people divorcing after being married for more than 20 years had increased from 13% in 1990 to 28% in 2011. Dr. Bateson said those people needed to be supported as they re-entered the dating scene. We've now got new venues for people to meet new partners. We've got changing relationships. We know that internet dating is very mainstream now, she said. We do know that older men and women are meeting new partners, sometimes multiple new partners, so it's really important that they understand how to protect themselves. She wants governments to follow in the footsteps of the United Kingdom and New York City Council and run safe sex campaigns aimed specifically at baby boomers. But she also said dating websites had the potential to help raise awareness. They could be a really great place to get information about how to protect yourself. Dr. Bateson said, it's all about normalizing things. I think the key with older people is they haven't grown up with this sort of normalization of STIs, talking about STIs, going and seeing the doctor. It wasn't a big deal when I was younger. Sydney Mantrevor, 55, started dating again after the end of a long-term relationship. He dated 3 different women over the course of 6 months but never used condoms. Even when I was younger it was never really a big deal, he said, because in my teens it was pre-AIDS and so we just didn't worry about it too much back then. Maybe it's just stupidity, maybe it's naivety, I don't really know. It was just never, it didn't seem like a really big issue, he said. Although he trusted women he was dating who said they did not have STIs, he still ended up being tested, and was relieved when the results were negative. At the time it's like, let's go for it, and when you've done all that you think, well, it was pretty stupid, and maybe you just sort of look back and go, well, I'd better go check up on that now. Trevor said, it was definitely stupid, but when you're on a date and something's coming your way you're sort of not going to knock it back, I guess. Concern about condom use overall. Older men were not the only ones who said they were unlikely to use a condom in the survey. The survey found that 77.5% of all male respondents said that they had sex without using condoms in the previous year. We all have to have a level of concern. Make sure that we do continue with these public health campaigns to let people know about the risks, keep people in perspective. Dr. Bateson said, I think one of the key things is if people do have sex without a condom, and it can happen, that they feel confident and comfortable about getting tested. We need to take away any stigma they may have. There have been some negative perceptions around them. We want to be able to ensure that they are positive when it comes to sexual pleasure. Top reasons for not using a condom: 18 to 29 years old, 60 years old believe their partner didn't have an STI, 65% believe their partner didn't have an STI, 75% partner was using other contraceptives, 51% no risk of an STI because the relationship was monogamous, 45% they didn't want to, 50% they didn't want to, 34% 34% no risk of an STI because the relationship was monogamous, 36% their partner didn't want to, 15% they couldn't help themselves, 32% it didn't seem important, 14% men with many partners more likely to be risky. The survey also found that older men with a high number of sexual partners were more likely to be riskier when it came to having safe sex, so they were more likely to have sex without a condom, Dr. Bateson said. Dr. Bateson said this trend differed from other research in Australia which suggested that in general sexually experienced people tended to have a higher rate of practicing safe sex. She said this may simply be men re-entering the dating world with gusto, but without the safe sex education most younger people get given, just not having that knowledge to be able to understand the importance of using condoms both to protect themselves and their partners, she said, and having those negative perceptions about condoms. So we've really got to turn this around. A similar survey of women conducted by Family Planning NSW in 2009 found that women over 40 were significantly more likely to discuss STIs with their new partners than younger women. But older women were also less likely to refuse sex without a condom. The study was published in the journal CSIRO Sexual Health. Topics: Sexual health, older people. Australia first posted January 18, 2018, 14 hours 2 minutes and 6 seconds.